Okay, let's do this. We're going to start in child's pose today. For the longest, I always taught morning classes starting in child's pose, and I was missing it this morning. So come on over, child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front, but then let your body hang heavy over. Knees can be a bit apart or together. Build a place under for the head to rest on top of the hands or just flat against the mat. So as we start this morning in child's pose, just take a few breaths. This pose also representing the start of a new month for us in our yoga practice. For the month of March, I'm highlighting the mantra, healthy habits nourish me. Right here, taking a moment of pause, the first healthy habit of the month and the hub. Just be. Reach the hands back out, if not already. And then come up to the fingertips, lift your forearms, your elbows, and your upper arm bones towards the sky so it starts to be a bit more active here in child's pose. Even lift the head off of the mat and look forward, look through your hands. Full body working to stretch and reach here. From there, change to all fours and do cat and cow. Every inhale, pull the chest forward and through, eyes and tailbone up to the sky. Every exhale, press down through the hands and knees, round the back, pull the navel up towards the spine, drop the head, cat pose. And then just start to relax it back and forth. Downward facing dog, tuck your toes. And stretch up and back. Pedal out your feet, shake the head, shift through the hips. Come to a still position in downward facing dog, so equally press the hands down and forward and the heels back and down. And then lower your knees down back to all fours, but this time turn your hands around so your fingers face out to the side or all the way back to point towards the knees. Lift your right leg up and back. Point out to the toes, so as long as you can be. And then just give a little bit of pulse higher. Swing the leg to the left side, tap down to the floor. Come back to the center and lower the leg down. Do the same on the second side. Lift the the left leg up and back. Point the toes. Strengthen from the glutes, quads, down the calf, all the way through to the toe. And then lift the leg a little bit higher. Over to the side, tap down. Back to the center and lower. Tuck your toes. As you turn your hands around safely, sit back on your heels. Interlace the hands. Lift the arms to the sky. Here at your lower ribs, belly back and down. So a lifted chest, but an engaged core. Then release the hands, interlace behind your back. With the elbows bent, squeeze in towards each other. Keep squeezing the elbows in, but strengthen and straighten the arms. And then look up towards the sky. Same lifted chest, tone in the abdomen. Release the clasp of the hands. Come back out, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Lower flat down against your yoga mat. Reach your hands back behind you. Turn the palms to face up to the sky and lift everything that you can up. And then lower it down and just rest for a moment. Feel the heaviness of your body against your yoga mat. And then almost the same thing, but interlace the hands this time and lift again. Squeeze the heels towards each other, whether they touch or not, doesn't matter. It's that active squeeze. And then lower it back down. Again, just rest. Release the arms, body heavy against the mat. And we have one more here, so 3 in a row, belly down, back bends, just sort of knock them all out. Hands behind your head this time. Bend your knees. Knees apart, inner edges of the feet together. Ready? Inhale, lift everything that we can up. And then exhale, lower it down. Press back to child's pose. And change to downward facing dog. From dog pose, bend your knees a lot. Walk your hands backwards to your feet. Ragdoll. Let the entire torso hang heavy over your legs. Relax your head. Hold on to the elbows. Sway a little bit from side to side. How helpful is it to have this release? And then roll on up to standing. And as you roll up, bring the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And the shoulders forward and down a couple of times. Okay, nice to see you all. Come up to the front end of the yoga mat. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Just good old sun salutation here. Step back to plank. As you lower down, try to hover right above the mat, strong and steady. And then change to cobra, chest through, thighs down, shoulders up and back. And then down dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. Adding a bit more here, step your right foot in between the hands for low lunge. Take the right hand up to the sky in a twist. And as you lower the right hand down, bring it to your thigh. Bring both hands up to your thigh. And twist again, this time left elbow to the outside of the right knee. So a little more depth in the second twist. For more stability and balance, you could have the back knee down on the ground, or try just lifting it even higher up. And then untwist, lower the hands down, and step forward, both feet to the front of the yoga mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale and fold. Half lift. Step back to plank. Keep the elbows strong into the side as you lower down in Chaturanga Dandasana, that little hover, head of the shoulders up, and then thighs down, but pull the chest forward and through. Think shoulders up to the ears and then back in Cobra. Downward dog, lift the hips up. And then second side here. So step the left foot forward into your long, low lunge. And take the left hand up in the first twist. You could stay here, you could repeat this. Or coming up to that more intense twist. Hand to the thigh, both hands to the thigh. Torso about half raised. And then palms together, set the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And it could be hovering above, right? Look where you can balance. So especially for me on the left side, it's a harder balance. I'll look down rather than trying to look to the side or up. It just helps. And then untwist and step forward, both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach both arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Take a moment there. Reach the arms straight out in front of you. Chair pose, but a very deep chair pose, more like a squat. Sit way down and back in your legs. Rock more weight into your heels instead of the toes. And as you look down, keep the knees as wide as the middle of your foot. Another breath, sit a little bit lower. So power pose, torso forward. One more like this. And then stand all the way up, arms to the sky. Go right into tree pose, right foot onto your left leg. Don't use your hands, just place your leg. Yes, as high as it'll go, using just the leg. A little different work. Press your foot into your leg back out into the foot. Point the knee out to the side and the toes down to the floor. Okay, keep the arms as is, don't let them change. Lower the leg and go right into the second side, tree pose, second side. So I take my leg as high as I can and then see where that leg floats down, foot floats down. And then remember to breathe and relax in the shoulders a bit. Terrific. 2 feet to the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your right foot forward and step your left foot back into a long, low lunge. Spin the back heel down as you do that. Look down, line up heel to heel in one line with one another. And then cartwheel up to warrior two. So full body open to the side. Shoulders over our hips. You can gaze towards the right side, but still keep the energy of the body open towards the center. Straighten the right foot, right leg. Turn the toes and go to the second side. Turn the left toes out. Look out over the left fingertips and bend the left knee to warrior two. Try not to dump the back thigh and belly forward. Keep contained. Press the thigh back, butt back. And then it's from the front leg, the sit bone going down towards the floor, kind of curling underneath to keep that all open to the side. Okay, straighten the left leg. Turn back to the first side. Cartwheel the arms down around the right leg. And step your left foot forward. And then starting on the left side, so left foot forward, right foot back. This time our energy, our body stays focused more towards that short side of the mat. For warrior one, spin the back heel down. Again, line up heel to heel. So starting these really from the base of the legs, building upright here. Hands to your hips, and then lift your torso. Poses we know and have done. Always good to think about things in a little different way, a little different sequence. Lift the arms up to the sky. I think that routine and continuity of poses is super important. It's healthy to know, and it's just as healthy to always be mixing it up and keep the brain active. Lower the hands down. And for this side, we'll step forward and just switch. Now right foot stays forward, left foot back. Spin the back heel down. Again, line up heel to heel, really looking at the legs first, the way that you've placed your feet. And then hands to the hips. Drive through that back leg as you lift your torso upright so it stays as your safety, as your anchored. And then lift the arms up. Let's lower the hands back down. This time step back to plank position. Lower flat against the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And go back to downward facing dog. Come to the center of your mat. Walk your feet a little bit forward and your hands a little bit back so you're in a standing forward fold with room to the front and room to the back of you. Keep all 10 fingertips on the floor and then make your legs as straight as they'll go. Keep accentuating your breath to find a fullness of the pose and a release. And then everyone take a nice little bend in the knees and bring your hands up to your thighs so you're kind of halfway in that chair pose or power pose position. Torso a little forward, bend in the knees, half sit in the thigh. Transfer your weight into your right leg, tap your left foot back behind you, and lift your left leg as high as you can towards the line of your hip. Reach your hands back behind you so you're like a floating Shalabhasana, floating locust pose. Turn the palms up towards the sky. And try to lift the thumb, the first finger, a little bit more than the rest of the hand. You can go to a straighter standing leg as your hamstrings, low back mobility allow. Try to keep the hips totally square. One more thing here, reach the arms out in front of you rather than back behind you now. Full warrior 3. And then come back. Left foot next to the right, standing forward fold. Rebend the knees, bring the hands again to the thighs, strong in the abdomen to transfer the weight to the left foot, tap your right toes back behind you. This is a good place to be. Gets the job done. More challenge, lift the right leg as high as it'll go. Engage the muscles to the bone so the leg is as straight as possible. And then reach the arms back. Again, palms up. Left leg maybe a little straighter, but keep the hips square. And a change, arms out to the front, reach, reach, reach. And bring it all back. Standing forward fold, 2 feet to the ground. More like ragdoll, keep a bend in the knees. Okay, hands to the hips, point the elbows up to the sky, press down into the feet and come all the way up to standing. Lift the arms to the sky. We've had eagle pose in our sequences the last couple of months. It's here again. Right arm under the left. Come back, hold on to your hands, bend your knees. Emphasize the upper body here in this eagle pose today. Stay very upright. And take the right leg and cross it over the left. Squeeze the foot to the outer calf or behind the calf. Again, try to stay really tall, straight up and down. Don't lean forward, don't lean back. Release the leg first, unwrap the arms. Eagle pose, second side, left arm under the right, cross the elbows, come back, hold on to your hands. Again, the emphasis is here. It's this movement of the shoulders away from each other. Nice tall spine. Stick with it and add on. Left leg on top of the right. To get lower in the legs, a lot of folks tend to fold over more in the torso here. For the sake of this, stay upright. Think knees more forward and down. Shoulders and head a little back, even when it's wobbly. Unwrap the leg, unwrap the arms, lift back up. Exhale, forward fold. Find your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana here, downward facing dog. Step 1 foot forward and then come to a wide-legged forward fold. So whichever side of the mat you are best facing, wide-legged forward fold. Walk the hands out until they're under the line of the shoulders. You have a pretty broad reach here from the hips out to the crown of the head. Lengthen. Try to keep that length in the spine, but walk your hands back. Just changing where the hands are should change the stretch through the back of the legs, the hamstrings. And then change it a little bit more by starting to drop the head down towards the yoga mat. Notice I say towards, head's not trying to reach all the way down. If your head indeed reaches the ground, narrow your stride until it doesn't. Another option for the hands is to hold on to the outside of your feet, the outside of your ankles, bend the elbows and sort of bring yourself a little bit more in. Stick with your version of this wide-legged forward fold. It's Prasarita Padottanasana for just a bit longer. And then walk the hands back out so they're underneath the line of the shoulders, that long spine. Remember, building poses mostly from the ground up here. So we're going to turn the right toes out and walk the hands over towards the right side so they both stay on the inside of the leg. Looking down again, heel to heel, about in alignment with one another. So you've got the legs ready for triangle pose. Even if this right leg doesn't go all the way straight, do your best keeping the right fingertips down on the ground, and then swing the left arm out to the side, even up to the sky, triangle pose. Try to bring the crown of the left hip more towards the sky. It takes a little squeeze, like a low cough in the low belly and pelvic floor there. Lower the left hand back down. You're staying here. And rotate your left foot more inward. So now the left toes face towards the same top of the mat as your right foot. Press your left heel into the mat as much as you can. It might feel a little lighter, but our object, our work is to get it down and heavy. Twisted triangle pose, and we're starting from the ground up. Remember, it doesn't have to look the same as it always does. Try to keep 2 feet flat on the ground, left fingertips to the ground, and send the right arm out to the side or up to the sky. Keep turning through the full belly as the arm lifts. And then slowly lower the right hand down. Walk back to your center, so wide-legged forward fold again. Walk the hands in towards the line of your feet, your head down towards the floor. Let's try the second side. You walk the hands back out. Right toes to start with, stay straight ahead or just a tiny bit turned in. Left toes, turn them all the way out. So I pick up the toes, set them back down, heel to heel alignment, walk the hands over. Left hand is on the inside of the foot. Strengthen the legs, make them as straight as they'll go. Right hand out to the side, up to the sky. And I'm staying as lifted on the bottom fingertips as I can so that I give myself just those couple extra inches to grow in the legs as well. Lower the right hand down. Turn the back foot in more, full like 70 degrees in versus the front foot full 90 degrees out. If that makes sense to you. I'm going right fingertips on the pinky toe side of my front foot. Energy of the left hip up and back, right hip around and down. Left arm out to the side or up to the sky. Press down through the back heel at the same time as you try to lengthen your head out towards the short side of the yoga mat. And then both hands back down, walk it again to the center, parallel feet, wide-legged forward fold. Hamstrings might be a little sore tomorrow. Walk it over to your low lunge, step back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. lift your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward to your lunge and lower your left knee to the ground, back knee. Bring the hands up to the front thigh. Grow your head higher towards the sky. You can keep the back foot tucked or take it flat down to the ground. It's just whichever you prefer. We want to keep a feeling of strength and steadiness in the back leg as you start to float your hips down and forward. You can take it in a few reps, whatever feels nice. Hands down or more challenged, take the arms up to the sky, even touch the palms together. I like to cross at my thumbs to get that extra bit of power. Anjaneyasana. And then lower the hands back down either side of the front foot. Take a pause. Bring the hands to the inside of your foot. Heel toe the right foot over towards the right edge of your yoga mat. Pull the left heel in towards your seat. So we've got a quad stretch going on here. And then opposite arm to foot. Right hand, hold on to your left foot. Try to make your butt and your heel touch. The easiest way to do that is to move your butt up and back. And then move the whole unit down and forward. Try a little back bend here, shoulders back, head back. You're looking up towards the sky and a twist. All the things happening. And then slow release. Crawl the hands to either side of the front foot and step back to plank. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then take the left leg high, three-legged dog. Step it all the way forward into your low lunge. Help yourself to find that full stride. And then lower the back knee down, hands to the front thigh. Again, a lot of folks like to leave this back foot tucked underneath. It can feel a little easier to gain the strength in the pose. There's also a lot to be said about pushing the front of the foot down, if that works, and the flexibility of your ankle. Okay, arms up. Maybe close the eyes and breathe here. Lift, 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 and breathe. Lower the hands on either side of the front foot and pause for a breath or two. And then change hands to the inside of the foot. Heel toe the left foot wider so you have a little more space to work with. Pull the back heel in towards the seat. Now I didn't mention, and on the first side, I kept the front foot going straight, toes going straight. If you're looking for a little more hip opening, you can certainly turn that out to the side as long as the knee stays as wide as our foot. All right, let's try holding on to the back foot. Again, for the safety of the knee joint, we're looking to bring the butt up to the heel, make that close, strong connection, and then send it down and forward. Add a little twist, a little back bend. Lots of elements of this pose. We call it twisted monkey, so you pick the elements that work. And then a nice slow release, hands on either side of the front foot. Pick up the back knee. Step through to plank. Knees, chest, and chin. So it's this little, I always call it the grasshopper pose. Toes, knees, hands, and then place the chest and the chin down to the mat with the hips lifted. Ready to hop. cobra. Thighs down, but pull the chest up. And press back to child's pose. Slow, steady progress throughout the practice today. A little bit more. Let's flip around to lie down onto our back. Come to the soles of the feet for bridge pose, knees straight up to the sky. So 2 forms of bridge pose. First, the one you know quite well. Reach your hands towards the heels, press down through your feet, your shoulders, the back of the head, and lift the hips up. Hands have some choices here. Bookends around the belly. Hold on to the edge of your sticky mat or interlace the hands underneath you. If you've interlaced the hands, do that little walk side to side. Bring the shoulders even a little bit more inward. Keep pushing the back of the head and shoulders down so you have a little lift of your neck away from the mat. Okay. You can stay right here. I said there's a second part of bridge pose today. Heel toe your feet closer together and then inch your feet out so that your legs go straighter. Building bridge pose. Legs as straight as works, feet as close together as works. Keep the hips lifting, lifting, lifting. And that's really what BKS Iyengar would call the full form of bridge pose. Straight legs. Walk the legs safely back in if you've gone straighter. Release the arms and lower your butt back down to the ground. Pull your knees into your chest. If you're like me, I always just need a moment after bridge pose. Big ask. Take the hands out to a T. Supine twist. Drop both knees over towards the right side here. And then across the center and on over to the second side. Okay, and back into the center. Set just the sole of the left foot on the ground. Stretch the right leg straight up to the sky. Hold on to it anywhere that makes sense, from behind your thigh, your calf, up to your ankle. Hold on to your toes. Where do you find a stretch? For ease, the sole of the left foot stays on the mat. You could also try it flat down along the mat. See if you like that. Can you hold on to your right leg with just your right hands and the left arm out for some counterbalance? And then send the right leg off towards the right side. Maybe more up towards the line of the shoulder rather than low towards the line of the hip. And we'll bring it back into the center and lower the leg all the way down. To get into the second side, set the sole of the right foot on the mat, lift the left leg up. And again, find your stretch. Make the left leg as straight as possible. It doesn't have to come so far into the body, but try to keep it straighter. If you're straightening the right leg, do that here. Take the weight into just the left hand, right arm out to the side for that counterbalance, and then let the leg go off to the left side. Okay, bring it back to the center. Lower the left leg all the way down. Take any last bits of movement here prior to our final pose of Shavasana. A good morning stretch, another squeeze of the knees in. If you have a safe inversion in your practice, a lot of folks like that right here before Shavasana. And then when you are ready, find your still position. Lying all the way down. You could take a seat if you'd rather. As always, anything that works. Slowly come back, attention, a little bit of movement, fingers and toes. Attention to breath. Make your way up to a seated position, if not already. Closing gesture with the hands, whether it be palms together along the thighs, just folded into the lap. Gesture that means something. And into that, bow full gratitude to yourself, to each other, and for this practice, which brings us health in mind and body, and definitely in the soul. Namaste. Thank you, friends.